Okay, this is going to be our review on rivers. This is our river table. See, we have sand inside there to mimic the dirt we have usually. If we start up at the top, we'll go through the parts of the river first. This is the source of the river up here. The source of the river is where all the water from the river comes from. Now, this is usually at the highest elevation, which means that this would be the source of the highest potential energy for the river. From the source, the river runs down, comes along this path here. We call this the river channel, and flows around these curves and finally empties out into the ocean, which is down here. Now, when we look at the different parts of a river, you'll notice the different curve. They come around this way and around this way. Each one of those curves is called a meander. Meander is made of two different parts: the outside area here, which is called the cut bank, and the inside part of the curve here, which is called the point bar. At the very end of the river, we see that it opens up wider, and this part right here is called the delta. Okay, so now we have our river actually flowing with some water going through it. Again, we can see the different parts. We have the source of the river up top where the water's coming from. We go down from the source, we go around the first meander curve, come around the second meander, empty out into the delta, and finally out into the ocean. There's a couple different things going on with the river, first of which is erosion. And if I zoom in here, I want you to pay particular attention to the rocks moving. You can see the rocks shooting past at this point. That's erosion. There's a couple different places where erosion takes place, one of which, and the most prominent, is the cut bank of the meander. That's this outside part right here. The cut bank of the meander has high velocity there, which means it has a lot of kinetic energy, which is why erosion takes place. We tend to have erosion at the cut bank because all that kinetic energy from the high velocity of the water is being transferred into the soil, which breaks it apart. The other part of the cut bank, the point bar, is where we have deposition that occurs. And if I zoom in, you should be able to see some of the soil stopping. Okay, right about here, the soil drops down. That's called deposition, and that's because we have low kinetic energy there, which means there's not enough energy or velocity of the water to move it around. From that meander, we come down and we go around the second meander, and again on the inside part right here, you do have some deposition that occurs and lots of erosion happening on the outside. Finally, we head down into the delta, which is where it opens up into the ocean, and you have a lot of deposition there because by the time the water reaches that spot, there is very little kinetic energy, and therefore very little energy to move the different particulates through the river. One little experiment we could do is add some food coloring to the water, and the food coloring should follow the velocity, which means it should shoot to the outside of the cut bank, the outside of the meander, the cut bank, and then slowly fill to the inside. Here it goes. See how it shoots the darker red to the outside of that cut bank? One more time. That shows us that the water is moving faster there. One more time. Watch it shoots to the outside of the cut bank. You get your darker red there. That is our overview on rivers. Hopefully it helped you prepare for this exam, and good luck tomorrow.